Welcome to Home with Habitat. This is Rebekah Stevens. I'm the Executive Director, and today's episode is going to be focusing on how to build your own stair risers. So I have a little confession. I've been studying this for about a month. I've been watching YouTube videos, and I have been reading, and I've been putting it and formulating it in my mind to figure out the best way to come up with the most easy and quickest way to build stair risers. And I have come to the conclusion they are not easy and they're not quick. So today we're going to pivot a little bit and we're going to talk about some of the general terms, some of the skills, and then I'm going to show you how I came up with a solution for our particular situation here on site at the Habitat build on 1 Hinckley Street. So as you can see, I've got a stair riser here, and I did not build this one. So they have these available at your local home improvement shop, and I would recommend, if you're not familiar with building stair risers and it's the first time you've ever tried to do it, it's called a stringer, that you would go down and maybe get one as a template to kind of explain to you when you watch the videos or you read about it, what they're talking about. So this is a standard 3-level stringer. It's got, and they call it 3 because it's got 3 risers, 1, 2, and 3, and then it's got 3 treads. And this is a typical spacing for what would be allowed in a code situation in Rutland City, where you have at least 6.5 inches in your rise, but no more than 7 3/4 for safe stepping. So I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to show you our project that we're working on. And here we are. Now we have an existing deck, and in most cases you're going to be either replacing stairs or putting maybe moving the stairs somewhere on something that's existing. So if that's the case, I can tell you from experience that it can be a little tricky if the measurements are not standard, and we did find that. So this is our stair stringers that I've already started. This one I purchased. This one I copied from this one so that I would make sure I got it right, because I'm going to show you in a second my first 2 attempts at this, and it took me 3 hours of trying and cutting, and after that I was like, okay, I'm humbled, I need help. So off I went to my local home improvement shop and I bought this. And remember, we're using pressure treated because we are exterior, and I've just put these on temporarily. These are temporary treads because we're using a 2x6, which gives us a 5.5 inch tread, and we have to make sure that all of our steps are uniform or within 3/8 of each other, so that when you're walking up the stairs you don't catch your toe or it goes deeper than you thought and you stumble. So we're using the top of our deck as the first tread. That's the first tread level, and you can see it's level. And we use this handy dandy 2-foot level. You can also use a 4 if you're doing a bigger step, but this actually happens to be a smaller one. And we measure down, and we're looking at 6 3/4 inches. Right within tolerance. Like I said, 6.5 to 7 3/4 is the most you want to go, and 6.5 is the least. And then on this one we have 6 7/8, so we're within that tolerance of 3/8. And then the bottom one only has to be to the ground. And as you can see, I've set these pavers. Now these pavers are actually going to be covered by the gravel you see over here. So these are set a little deep so that we can set in at least 1 inch worth of gravel. So when you step down, you're going to be stepping down to an inch worth minimum of fill that's going to be coming in. So we need to have at least 7.5, and we do 7.5. So that's going to give me 1 inch coverage, so that when you come off this last step, you're only coming down 6.5 inches. So we've got our tolerance. But how did we get there? Well, let me show you. All right, so now we're back. This is a carpenter square, and it's got measurements on it from one side's 1 to 16, and then on the other side it's 1 to 24. And this is how you're going to measure out where your risers and your runs go, risers and your treads, or your runs as we would call them. So again, if I didn't say it correctly, and I apologize, all the terms, there's stringer, riser, this is a tread, but it's also considered a run, and this is where you're going to put your treads on. So if you're using a standard deck board, which is about 3/4 of an inch thick, then you would accommodate for that level. But as I said, this deck is a little beefy, and we use 2x6s, so we've got a 1.5 inch tread level, so we have to accommodate for that. So the way I finally figured it out, because and I promised you I'd show you, these are my first 2 attempts at the stair treads. So this one, as you can see, it's got the right shape, but it by no means looks like this beautiful one that was done so nicely. So definitely not the same. So we had to get rid of that. Okay. My next attempt, I thought, all right, I don't know if I want the stairs that wide, so maybe I'll go 2 treads. And I'll go, in my stringer, I'll only go out 17, 20 inches. Well, as you can see, I was close to getting the same shape on this one, but it was, my problem is that this gap to the ground where we have the pavers was almost 9.5 inches. So well over the tolerance of where you want. So that wasn't going to do any good. So we got rid of that. So for the purposes of today, of showing you how to measure, we're going to use this one that I just purchased, again from our local home improvement shop. And we're going to take our carpenter square and we're going to lay it on top of the cut that's already there. And when you see it, you're going to see, if you can get close enough, we're at about 10 1/4 and 6 3/4. And they're telling us that our rise is going to be 6 3/4 and 10 1/4. And we're going to transfer that measurement over to our scrap board here, not pressure treated, just for scrap today. And we're going to go to 6 3/4 and we're going to go to 10 1/4. And we're going to draw it on the outside. And I found out that's extremely important, because if you draw it on the inside, then it's too little. And so you'll definitely want to use the outside of this carpenter square. Now they also make these handy dandy spacer holding points that you can put on your square if you're doing a lot of cuts, because say you're doing maybe a larger staircase. You just attach these to your square and it holds the measurement, and then it's like a template. So if you wanted those, you could also get those. Okay, so then we take the square again, and now we need a second one, because this, like I said, we're doing 3, so we have to transfer it over. And again, we go over to 6, and I'm using the inside measurement of the square, but we're going to draw the line on the outside. So we're going to do 6 3/4, and we're going to come down to 10 1/4. And we're going to draw, and it's intersecting right on the corner. Oh, and look, see, I drew on the inside. So, which is why we use pencil. So we're going to go back, and we're going to set it again, right on the outside, 6 3/4. Absolutely not quick and easy. And if there's anyone watching this who's an expert at this, please call me at the Restore, because I would love to get you out here for a lesson on how to do this. All right, so I've drawn my 2 lines, and as you can see, they very much resemble this one. Okay, so much better attempt this time. Then, how do we get this cut? Now I've run out of board on here, but I'm going to show you at least this cut. Okay, so we take this, right, is the run, the first one. We're going to just put our square right on it, and we're going to just draw it and complete the line straight up. Okay, because that's you're going to be able to cut right up on that. And then on the bottom, what you would do is take the rise line and you would mimic it about 1.5 inches up to represent the tread that you're going to have at the bottom, and you would then mimic it up if this were in full form. And sorry, I don't have a full board because I was cutting them up yesterday for my repeated failed attempts. So we're going to walk this over, and you're going to see already on our deck fascia that we have this handy dandy bracket that you just put to where you're going to mount your stair stringer, right to it, and this comes on the back. This mounts to this, and then it bends down under and holds it on that angle. Very simple. So again, something you can get at your local home improvement shop. And what I want to show you on this is, because this was an existing deck and things aren't always perfect like you'd hope they would be, you can see that in order for us to come in under our tread here that's already attached, we're actually going to need to trim the top of this board to bring it in level underneath the deck face. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark, oh, my pencil. Good. Okay. We're going to mark the tread, the top of the stringer here, right where it needs to come in under. And the reason I know this is level is because we did this work yesterday using our level, and we made sure. We left a little bit of an angle in it just so that any water or melting snow would come off easily, but it's generally quite level, but it's on the same pitch as the deck, so it all kind of goes together. And we're going to trim this so that this will slide right in underneath our deck board. And so we're going to make this cut, and we'll be right back to you after these brief messages about our restore.
Welcome to the restore.
Hi, so welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that short message about our restore, and hopefully we'll see you down there. Come give us a visit. So I trimmed off the top of our stringer to accommodate for the fact that it needs to come in under our deck board. So you'll want to have on hand a handy dandy wood saw and either a cordless or plug-in circular saw to make your cuts, because when you do the actual stringer, when you get to the corners, you may need to clean it up with the manual hand saw, because sometimes the circular saw doesn't get in all the way. So we've prepped this and it's ready. We're just going to place it in. Okay. In it goes. You'll attach the bracket like we talked about. I use 1 5/8 wood screws, exterior. And then you just bend this up under it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it just bends up under and it holds it in place. And there we go. We have stairs. Let's see. All right, we did it. And they're gonna last a lifetime. So thanks for joining us today for Home with Habitat. And again, if you're watching and you're really good at these, or if you do attempt it and it comes out great or even not great, send us a line, email us, rutlandhabitat@gmail.com. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear what you're doing on your own, and happy building. Have a great day.